I know that this is kind of like an awkward position, but this was about the best way I can do this without having my son here to hold the camera for me. So I'm gonna see can I do it this way. But this is how I think I can get away with this. It's not so bad. Let me just fix my chair here. Okay, now things that I would need. I went on ahead and I took the pack of hair out of the pack, and this is how it's looking. It's one long pack, okay, of hair. So yeah, a lot of people don't want to wear their hair this long all the time. And then again, sometimes you might want your hair to be long. I mean, you want your hair to look nice and neat, but you don't want this. You just don't want this length, okay? So you kind of like want to cut it short. So that's what I want to do. I want to show you what I do to cut it short. So you want to keep these rubber bands and that comes with the hair on the hair. You want to keep them handy because you can be using them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take down this whole little braid. I should have put on a lighter color shirt. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing. Give me 1 minute. Let me see if I can turn on this light here, and it probably would be some help. I don't know. But yeah, it just looked kind of dark because the table is dark, and I got on a dark shirt, so that's just not a good thing. So, and let me change that. Okay, I'm back. I did a little bit of technical difficulty and made things, brighten little things up around here so everything don't look so black. But this is the hair, and I took it out of the pack and took the rubber bands off of the ends of the hair. And I still got this on there because I got to show you exactly what I do. So I'm going to take this on apart, and here you have the rubber band. Okay, so what you're going to need to do next, you want to get your scissors, and I thought I had my scissors. Oh, I did. I covered them up. Okay, sorry about that. But what I usually do, I get my scissors, and I'm going to cut this right here where this rubber band at. I'll cut it right in half. Make sure you don't cut the rubber band because the rubber band can be very useful. So you really don't want to cut it. So I go right beyond the rubber band cut, okay? Then I take this and I'm going to put this half right here on the table. And I'm going to take this other half and just lay it on my lap for now out of the way. Then you want to take the second half. See, this is one whole half right here. And with some people, this still can be kind of on the long side and they want it shorter. So you would take this and fold it into half. Okay, just like this. And it looks this way. It will be in halves, okay? All right, and you want to make it as nice and even as possible. And then you'll come and then you will cut here. And then I will cut it right here. Okay, so that'd be in half again. Make sure that once you cut it, you want to make sure you cut it again because sometimes it be like little ends there be still in the way. Okay, haven't been cut. Okay, so now you have here two halves. Okay, so this is how short it is. Now, if you want it shorter, then you could take it and fold it again and cut. That all depends. But this is far as I believe that I would want this to be. I don't need it no shorter. Okay, so what I do is going to take one end and just put it on out the way to work with this end to show you what next to do. Okay, now the next thing you want to do is you don't want these ends to be, see how this look like a fan is so cut even? You want to get this where it's not like that. So the way you do it, they call it a feathering situation. They feather the hair. Okay, and how that is done, you just take it and you want to even it out as much as possible. And you just go whichever end that you decide to do. But I'm going to show you with this end since I have it up here. And you're just going to take each little strands of hair and you're just going to pull like this. Taking them from being so like bluntly cut, and you just pull out the strands. Okay, yeah, it can be time consuming, but it will be well worth it. I mean, because if you leave it like this, then and you braid it like this, you're gonna run into problems to where either you're gonna have to use rubber bands, or if you did, I really don't know how to say, you would have to use the rubber bands because um with it being cut like this and you braid it like this, it's nothing else left to do. It's going to unravel. So the only thing you really could put on it would be rubber bands. That's it. And we all know that that's the old school. People ain't doing it like that no more. Actually, that style failed. You know, rubber bands break or whatever. I don't know. But sometimes I still put rubber bands on in my hair. You know, things happen, okay? So what I'm doing here is just taking each one of these little hairs and I'm just pulling it just like this. And once you pulls it, just pull it on down like this to where you're getting it out of your way from the next strands you want to pull. Okay? Now, when you get to where you got enough in your hand and you want to take that part out, you just separate that part. You take it out your hand just like this. All right? Real easy so that the hair won't tangle. And you just sit it right there. Okay? Right, you know, out the way. Then you come back and you just start doing this again. You want to pull the hairs up like this, up and out the way. That's it. Okay? And that's really basically all you do. Let me see if I'm make sure I'm in it so you can see exactly what I'm doing. See how the hair is coming uneven? That's what you want. And it'll give you that feather effect. Okay? That's what it'll do. It'll give you that feather look. Now, as we pulling this, you know, from is down here, this down here is starting to get tangled up. So you just want to take your fingers, or I like to take my fingers right now because I'm holding, you know, the hair in my hand, just more easier, and just, you know, comb it out with your fingers, you know, to loosen up the tangles. All right, start back again. I hope you all can see exactly what I'm doing. You know, I think I'm at an angle where lighting is sucking real bad in this house right now. The lighting is not as good right now. So, yeah, but this is really it. And you just want to do this. And once you get enough of it in your hand, you want to separate again. Take this out. Okay? And just pull it slowly. So that way it's less tangles. And you just lay it to the side. Okay? And this is really it, okay? It's really it. And you want to do this until you finish with all of the pieces that you cut. Sometimes I see that this right here, by this is time consuming like it is, it's best to do this on a time like, say for instance, you want to do your hair tomorrow. Then you want to, you know, you want to do this before you actually sit down and start braiding your hair. To do all of this at one time, that's kind of like tiresome, really. It gets kind of tedious. Because you're on a time frame and a time schedule. So if, you know, you're doing someone else's hair, it's best to, have them, you know, if they're supplying their own hair, they need to drop the hair off to you early to where you can get this part of it done. So when the time comes for you to put that in their hair, this part right here is already done and out the way. Because you see, it would be, it's a job within itself. And you want to make sure that you get the hairs right and you're not just rushing through it. Because even if you rush through it, you're going to still, once you start installing the hair in the person's head, once you start installing the hair, you're going to still have to end up doing this anyways. You're going to have to end up coming back to doing this because the hair is still going to be blunt like this on the ends, and that's what you're trying to avoid. You don't want it like this. You want to get it out of that shape. So yeah, if you're doing someone else's hair, or even if you're doing your own hair, do this ahead of time before, you know, it's you doing your hair, installing it. That way it gives you enough time where you can sit and do this, you know, because it depends on how many packs of hair, you know, that you're going to need. A lot of times to complete a whole head, 4 to 5 packs of hair is usually the going number of, you know, packs of hair that you would need. You know, if you need more, then yeah, you're going to need that time to where you can sit and actually do this. So yeah. All right, so I have feather this, and as you can see, look at how those ends look. I hope they are not blunt like they were, because I have separated them so where you can see them like this. So what I'm going to do is go through this now with my hand and my hand motion, and just comb this out like this. Okay. All right, and then you'll go back to this, and you want to do this. Now, if you want to do it nice and even, you can get yourself a paddle brush or a comb, and you just, I like to put it up on top, lay it up against me, and just brush the hair like this, like so. Okay. And once you get a good brushing to it, then you want to lay it to the side. And every other piece that you have done, you want to pick that up. Okay. Do the same thing. You want to finger comb it with your hand on both ends. That also helps to make the hair uneven as well. Okay. Then you want to get you a brush, comb, whatever you like to smooth the hair out with, because this making it look real nice and smooth. Some people will put oil on the hair as well, which that's a good thing. That gives it that nice shine. You could do that. All right. That's up to your discrepancy right there. So I want to comb this out with my hands again. And sometimes you might find yourself pulling it a little bit if you see where your ends still look kind of blunt, even after you done did all of that. Okay, so yeah. So I'm just going to comb through this. I'm trying to stay within the frame here to show you exactly what I'm doing. And look at how those ends look. They're not so straight. They're not so straight. They give you that feathery type look, okay? So then I takes all of this together like this. After I have went through it, feathered it, brushed it out, it's nice and smooth. So this is ready to be installed in someone in your head. Okay, so then I takes me a rubber band, and like so, like this, or I had the ones to the hair. I don't know what I did with those. And then you just tie the rubber band around the hair like this. Just like this, okay? And then you want to just tie the rubber band. Like this. And see, the hair will stay in here just like this until you're ready to install it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, and this is how it'll look. You lay it out just like this. That's how it looked on the other table. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to do the other parts. This part, which I'm going to maybe share half, but this, once you do one, you do them all the same way, no different. But what I'm going to do is go through that, do this part, then I'm going to cut this part into two, this part right here. See, this is a whole nother section. That's why it was like 4 parts, okay? I'm going to end up cutting this into two right here. Make it nice and even as much as I possibly can. And cut this into 2 here. And then going to do the same thing. So yeah, as a matter of fact, what I can do is go ahead and cut this into 2 now. And you just want to go back over your cutting again to make sure you got a nice cut. Okay, so now this part will be ready for me to just go ahead and just feather. That way I can get all of that out of the way and done. All right, so basically that is it. If there's any question, as a matter of fact, I will step back in and show you what this is going to look like when I'm done. Okay, I don't want to just run a video once I share, it's really the same thing. It's nothing no different. Okay, it's really the same thing. So once I'm going to go through all of this, feather this, and then I will be back. So stay tuned. Just to get this on record, you can hold all of this hair in one hand at the same time and do this, But I would suggest that it would be much easier to split it up like I did in the video for beginners who, you know, just not starting out with this. That way they don't get, you know, this don't be too overwhelming. That's the reason why I would say to split it up, you know. But you can hold all of this here just like this in your hand until you're finished and get it done. But yeah, a lot of people say, well, you a pro at doing this. I don't think so, because I had to start from scratch too. It is time consuming, but the more you do it, the faster you get with it. So no, so yeah, you know, because you'll come up with your own techniques and ways of doing this to get it done. But you can hold this hair all in one hand. I just wanted to come on and make you know, to say that part. But anyway, so I'm almost done with this. I'm about to move on to the next. So by the time when you see me again, I'll be done with all of them, and they all will be in their little bundles, and I'll just show you what that look like. And if I think I need to say something else, then I'll come back and say it. Anyway, stay tuned. Peace.